6.5 stone using Manjaro. Today, welcome Dave Cooper onto the podcast. It is just myself, Mark, here today. Unfortunately, Darren can't make it. Urgent bit of business. But yes, we welcome Dave. But before we jump in, I'm going to talk to you, of course, about our sign-up code with Man v Fat. As you know, I play Man v Fat, and it's been a big part of my weight loss journey and have had so much fun along the way. If you would like to get involved, play football, lose weight, have some fun, make some new friends, if you sign up today on Man v Fat Football, you can enter Big Fellas in the sign-up code and get your registration fee for just £1. Not bad. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to introduce a former Man v Fat player and, yes, a big loser, 6.5 stone, Dave Cooper. How are you, mate? You well?
Yeah, I've literally never been better, mate. Yeah, great. Thanks for having us on, mate. Feeling. It's a bizarre feeling to have reached a goal I've had for probably 15, 20 years.
Fantastic. And yes, 6.5 stone is no mean feat. So just for context, Dave, so what was your starting weight and where are you now?
So when, the heaviest I'd got to just before I started, my plan was 20 stone and 6 pounds, which is at 130 kilograms, I think, maybe just shy of 130 kilograms.
Yeah. And where do you find yourself now?
So I'm just, latest was just a pinch under 14 stone. It's about 13 stone 12, I think it was.
Fantastic.
So probably about 88 kilos. So yeah, it's, like I say, it's a bizarre feeling. It's a reading on the scales I've probably not seen since I was about 13, 8 years old.
Wow, fair play. Cool. I guess maybe let's start there as sort of like of your story. So what were you like as a kid? Were you sort of like a tubby kid? Were you sort of fit and athletic? What was it like for you in your younger years?
Yeah, I wasn't fit and athletic by any stretch. I never really, and you know how much I love football. I didn't really get massively into football till I was later in sort of 12, 13 years old. So younger than that, I played quite a lot of rugby, which I was kind of shoved into because I was the tubby kid, essentially. So it was, and I was not bad at it. And so I was fairly okay with that. Started to play football quite a bit, and yeah, was never huge, but was never going to be, athletic by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, I get that. And so being sort of a tubby kid, what was it like? Did you get picked on with your weight or anything like that?
Do you know what? I was okay with it. I could make people laugh, without just looking at me. Yeah. So I was always on the right side of that, really. And so I was okay. Obviously, yeah, it was more internalized. I had funny feelings around eating. I would secret eat a lot, even from quite an early age. And so I think even then, if I was to kind of draw a map back, my relationship with food even then was probably even then not atypical, really.
Yeah. And and so then you sort of fast forward into adult life, and then by the sounds of it, so you've not sort of been at the weight you are since you were in your teens, sort of, I guess, entering sort of adulthood, you were always a big fella then, yeah?
Yeah, I really was. University was probably when I took the brakes off quite a bit, as I suppose a lot do, because went to Derby University, which is brilliant, but you're away from home. Those voices of reason telling you not to do X, Y, and Z aren't there. And I think I broke my ankle very shortly after going to Derby. And by very shortly, I mean on my first night. I was showing off in front of a bunch of mates, tried to slide down a banister like Mary Poppins, a bit heavier than Mary Poppins, fell, broke my ankle. So my plans to play football for the football team, all of that out the window. And I'm in a cast for 6 weeks at the time when I'm drinking, eating, everything back. And I always go back to that moment as almost possibly a sliding doors moment, because I was in good nick then. And I think from that moment, didn't do those things. And then by the time I finished sort of 3.5 years later, I'd put on at least 1.5 stone a year.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that. I can just think to my own uni days and didn't break my ankle. I remember I did have a bit of an accident early on. I slipped over on a dance floor and landed on a broken bottle and gashed my arm open. But that's another story.
Well, that'll do it. I've not seen you dance, so I can't comment what the dance is.
You don't want to either. I can't dance, but it's never stopped me. That's probably the sad thing, really. But no, sort of going into uni, like you said, the handbrakes came off. You didn't have your parents there to tell you, right, you've had enough, or cook your dinner. And I just remember we ate badly in the second year. Well, in the first year, we were in catered halls, so there was a bit restriction on it. The second year, we're looking after ourselves, and so you're eating really easy food, aren't you? You're eating pizzas, you're eating a lot of chips, a lot of takeaways. One thing we did, which was so random, we'd get in from like a night out and just make a cheese toastie. Actually, no, not even on a night out. A night in, we'd have a cheese toastie at like 11 o'clock, and you're just thinking, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do this? There's no benefit to it or anything. That was how it was.
I remember we moved into our uni house and we had 5 takeaways one side and we had 2 off licenses in the pub, and that was literally it. So that I think it kind of set the tone for how it was going to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it does. And so I think there's probably a lot of guys in a similar boat that did the same, and it was just it was too easy, I think, almost, wasn't it? So
it was, and I've always needed exercise. I've always needed something to counterbalance it, and my worst moments, even then and since, have been if I can't exercise, I haven't got that outlet. That other side of things is always worse. So not having that. Initially, it was kind of a slippery slope.
Yeah. I can imagine. And so university passes, and then you're in the big wide world. You work as a police officer, and you're okay for us to talk about that. Yeah. And what was the job like, and sort of balancing the diet or managing your diet? I always know that you obviously got past fitness tests and things like that, but I can imagine the stresses of shift work has played its part, has it?
Yeah, no, it absolutely has. I mean, it's, past fitness test. And again, I think my goal when I started all this was I wanted to get 16 stone, which was around my weight. I think it's probably just under that when I joined the police. And so I think I've always been heavier, but relatively fit. So I knew that I was in fairly good shape then. And obviously to go a couple of stone under that is unbelievable. But yeah, the relationship between shift work and food is a weird one, because it changes so often. You find yourself having curries at like 7 a.m. or whatever as your dinner if you've missed it during a night shift. And yeah, it's really bizarre. And it takes some getting used to. And when you put that alongside the stresses of the job sometimes, because I'm admittedly a massive comfort eater, Mark. My emotions and my eating are hand in hand a lot of the time. So stressful shift would almost certainly be something that isn't great for me. So it took some getting used to. I would say managed to get a bit of a handle on it, but still probably eating way worse than I should have, and not counterbalancing it with being active enough, I'd say.
Yeah. So you start working in the police, and you're 16 stone. So what was the cause then? Was it the shift work and the comfort eating that sort of I don't know if spiraled is the word, but the word that took you to that 20 stone?
Yeah,
did it come on that? It's always been. What did that look like?
I think it creeps up, but I think complacency is involved as well. So I'm 14 stone, let's say. People are like, I can't believe you're 14 stone. You look 2 stone lighter. Well, people were saying that when I was 20 stone and thinking, oh, you don't look 20 stone. And I was in my head, I was like, oh, people are saying I'm like 12 stone, but I am big, Mark. You've seen the photos. And so there was a bit of complacency there, I think, in my head, I didn't look like a 20 stone man. But now I step back and I go, do you know what? I could see it. And so there was always a bit of that. It snuck up. Had a couple of issues with mental health, with physical, so more broken ankles because I can't play football for more than a month without breaking something. And these things they combine. And post lockdown, which I'm sure is probably not the first time you've heard that phrase on this show, that was a big thing as well, because then alcohol kind of gets involved as well, not to a hugely problematic degree, but probably having more beers on more nights of the week than I should, alongside eating badly. And that was just a recipe for disaster, really. Got a hernia injury about January last year, probably a bit before, maybe about a year ago. That wrote football off for a while. And by the time I got back from that, I look at the scales and it's 20 stone 6, and you kind of can't believe you are that big. But what I would say is this has taught me that you have to work quite hard. You know, you can have the odd thing here and there. You're not going to get to 20 stone. It's a culmination of things and through time.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And that's something that I've said on this podcast a few times is I never got fat from sort of like one holiday or a weekend away or a big meal with family or anything like that. It was all the little things that I did. It was stopping and having a pork pie when I filled up my car, and the can of Red Bull was, missing breakfast, so getting a Mackey's breakfast on the way out and stuff like that. It's all those things which all then culminated to sort of like putting on the weight and sort of really sitting at that weight level.
Yeah.
So, so you hit 20 stone or 20 and a half stone near enough. Was there kind of a eureka moment or a moment where you thought, shit, I need to do something here? And was what led you to sort of trying the jab or Manjaro?
Yeah, so I mean, I've seen some of your pods, mate, and I think fairly similar in that I tried every diet going. So I've done Cambridge Weight Plan, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, you know, you name it, and I tried them all, including Man v Fat, obviously, which is where we met and had a good time, really good time there. I think there was a few things really. It wasn't so much photos. I was taking a video of my 8-year-old, well, she was 7 then. Really nice video of her, and I was like, "What is that noise in the background?" Do you know what it was, Mark? It was me breathing. Like I could hear my own heavy breathing, and I'm like, "Oh, that isn't good." You know, didn't notice it at the time, but you could hear things like that. Just walking, I'm not running a marathon after her. Then the birth of I've got a lovely new daughter called Georgia, who's 5 months old. Her impending arrival hit 40, I hit 40 in July, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I genuinely don't know if I'm going to be in a position to run around after the new daughter. And I kept saying in my head, I need to be as good a dad for her as I was for my first one. And that's a really sobering moment to go, I don't want her to have a poor imitation of the dad that I was for Annabelle.
Yeah.
And that was the driving force, alongside then understanding more about the jab, to go, it's got to be now or never. It really was. I think it was a final roll of the dice for me, mate. You know, and I'm incredibly happy that it's gone the way it's gone. And it's partly why I want to. The jab's not going to be for everyone, but for me, it was a game changer. And so I would say, if it's safe for you to do it, I'm glad I gave it a go, because it's turned a lot of things around for me.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I guess there's a ton of questions we can ask on that. And so I guess the first point is, so you made the decision that, all right, I'm going to take this jab and this is going to sort of fuel my weight loss. Were there any kind of fears or worries, or is there any kind of like, I guess, anxiety about doing it? Because it's, again, probably it's still very early on and everything. I'm sure you may have heard a few stories, but what was it like? Like, shit, is this...
There was loads.
Am I interfering with... Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely loads. I mean, I don't like needles, for starters.
Right.
So there was that. You read a lot of stuff online about side effects, and all sorts of horror stories, you know, and I don't doubt that there are people who get them. I'm very lucky that I haven't, very little anyway. I think there was also anxiety around losing those bad habits. There was that devil on my shoulder again. I had the jab in the fridge for 3 weeks before I took it.
Okay.
Part because it was like, I'll do it tomorrow. And I know it was that devil on my shoulder going, well, do it tomorrow. You can order a takeaway tonight, you know, and I'm the king of last suppers, mate. I was always have this one tonight, guilt free, because tomorrow will start. And I was at work with it, and I was like, do you know what? I need to take that out of my bag. I need to go somewhere, and I need to just do it. Yes, it isn't in the morning like I'd planned. Yes, it isn't on a Monday, because we start all good diets on a Monday, mate, don't we?
Yeah.
I need to go and take that now. And I literally went, found a side room. Right, I was like, right, I know how to do it. I'm just going to do it. And from that moment, just no looking back at all. So there was a lot of anxiety for a number of reasons. I did do a lot of research, as much as you can, online. I didn't know anyone who'd taken it, which I think would have helped me, and is why I've tried to help. I've helped probably a dozen friends. I've done videos for them injecting, and I said, look, it's warts and all. I won't tell you all. I won't. It was amazing, and there's no side effects. I won't tell you it's awful and that there's I'll give you truth from my experience. But yeah, loads of that. The best thing I did was go, right, grasp the nettle, because you'll put this off forever. Like you have a lot of things, just try it, and yeah, the rest is kind of history, really.
Fantastic. I like the point you say about the King of Last Suppers, and that is me. And just from even to the point when I remember signing up for Man v Fat, there's a McDonald's 5 minutes away, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
And I remember sitting in there having a massive Mackey's, thinking, right, start now.
Yeah, I was probably behind you in the queue, to be honest. Going, well, I'm being weighed, so I need value for money. So let's stack another load of chicken nuggets in.
And that was the sort of perverted way my mind thought was, well, if I weigh in heavier now, then I'll lose that little bit more on the first week, so that'll make me look that bit better.
That's it.
And I'm just saying, who am I kidding, really?
It is. I've done them all, mate, and
it's
wearing jeans on the first weigh in, or not taking my phone out of my pocket. That's going to make loads. And this was the thing. I was always trying, whatever diet I did, I was always felt like I was trying to cheat it in some way.
Could I cut a corner here or there?
It wasn't. It's the other thing with this is that I look forward to weigh-ins, which is so weird, but I am absolutely, even if it's £2 off or whatever, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not trying to cut corners. I'm not freaking out if I've had a cup of tea before I've done the weigh-in, because that might be £1. It's just, I know I've done the right things and I've done it properly, and that's enough for me, which I think, like I say, I did it 70%, but I was always trying to find the easier way.
Yeah. No, I get that. So, okay, so you take the jab and you get going. What were the first few weeks like?
So, yeah, they obviously started on a low dose, so it's to try and get you used to it, because it is different. I was expecting a tidal wave of sickness, nausea, headaches, tiredness. It was mild, to be honest. It was noticed a gradual, within 48 hours, a change in my diet or my hunger. And they talk a lot about food noise with Manjaro, that, and it was very loud with me a lot of the time. It does quieten down. Some really big things for me that I noticed early on was going to Tesco's to get some milk and bread, because we needed some, but not coming out with Pringles, couple of beers,
only coming out with milk and bread.
And I hadn't had to stop myself. It hadn't entered my thinking. I was like, well, there's the milk, there's the bread, right, get them in the car and go. And it was on the way home, I was like, it's the first time in ages that I've not spent 20 quid to visit to Tesco's. And so there's little things like that, and it builds and it builds. And then I think I started taking it in April. My daughter was born in the May, which again could have been quite a trigger, like going to Addenbrooke's Hospital with the the Burger King there, and my wife's away. So normally that would be the devil on there. Go, get a takeaway, mate. Got a lot on, but that didn't happen. And so it appeared to be like a series of minor wins against little battles I would have ordinarily lost.
Fair play. That's a good way to kind of explain it, I guess. Yeah. And like I said, I did try it for a few months myself. I stopped mainly because my main side effect for me was it really affected my sleep.
Right.
I'd sort of wake up at like 3 a.m. and then couldn't get back to sleep. Did you what kind of side effects did you sort of
so I mean
experience?
I there was a bit of tiredness and lethargy, and I'll never know whether that was from the jab or the fact my calorie intake I was taking on initially. I took on 1,500 calories and then a day, and then was slightly dropping it to about 1,300. So that is a lot less than my body's used to. Never felt hungry on it, and quite often was having to have something before, later in the evening just to get up to that. So I made sure that I was taking multivitamins with iron. If I'm playing football, I was taking lots of electrolyte powders and stuff just to kind of try and counterbalance it. And it seems to work pretty well. Water's the king. Water is, my water intake dictate how I felt. I had no stomach upsets apart from one time. And Mark, the one place you don't want a stomach upset, the lion enclosure at Woburn Safari Park. Okay, I can tell you that experience. I don't know if you've been.
Wow.
I don't know what it was. I'd had some sort of sandwich, light sandwich earlier in the day. It started on the little swan boats that go around, so I'm in the middle of a lake. Things would go away, got really bad, and bless her, my daughter wanted to see the lions, and she did, but I was flying past at about 70 miles an hour, trying to find a way out. So that was the only time that I'm like, oh, yeah, something didn't agree with me on it. That said, I've always been really careful with it because I'm like, if that's a possibility, the Mackey's isn't worth it, or I'll have a couple of her chicken nuggets that she's left, or I've always been, it almost
Yeah.
made me think, no, I don't want to even risk it. And then as I've progressed with it, I've gradually introduced stuff, we'll have a takeaway, but I'll have a chicken kebab salad and stuff like that, which is miles different from what I would have had, but I'm still treating myself. So it is a bit trial and error, but the tiredness
Yeah.
was the main thing initially. And I get a really dry mouth no matter how much water I drink. I don't know why. I wake up with a mouth like the Sahara in the morning, which I imagine is probably some way attributable to it. But genuinely, that's the only things I've had. I feel almost, people have different stories with it, and I do feel I've lucked out a little bit. But I do think maybe some of the elements of it with nausea, from what I've read up on, is that you can't cheat this. You can't still have the odd Mackies and get away with it, because it will stay in your stomach for longer. It will ferment and it will make you feel horrible. So,
Oof.
and that's what I learned, is that I think sometimes it's linked in with still trying to live a few of those old habits and thinking that it's going to let you get away with it. It's pretty cruel if you get it wrong.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. And I think that's it's important that you do go in with that mindset that, look, I'm going in, I can't carry on as I was. There has to be some changes here. And so how did your diet change then? Like, so you said you went down to sort of like 1,300 calories.
Yeah.
What did your diet look like? What were you eating?
I bought some diet plates with I don't know if you've seen them, with the little portion controls on them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're brilliant. Like Temu, place like that, £2 or £3, just to go, right, until I've got a handle on it and I can just look at it. I didn't trust my own portion control because it hadn't done anything for me so far. So it was literally like, right, protein there, vegetables there, fiber and carbs there. And that really helped me, actually, just visually going, right, if that's full, that's enough for me, and it's getting me what I need. As I kind of took my stabilizers off, maybe a month, probably about 6 weeks, 2 months in, you understand what you can have. And I'm quite a creature of habit. And the good thing about that is, if you take that habit as not being takeaways, the habit is then having, I don't know, poached eggs and salmon and stuff like that. It fitted in quite well.
Yeah.
So I ended up just probably about 10 different meals on repeat, which I personally get on well with. And making sure I was eating my veg, fiber, trying to get extra protein in. So like protein bars, grenade bars and things like that were always really helpful. And MyFitnessPal was a bit of a Bible for me at that time. So I put everything on MyFitnessPal, tracked it, and I got really interested in my macros and, have I hit protein goals now? Have I hit, and ordinarily that wouldn't have been something I even bothered looking at.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's fantastic. So, so here we are now, just a shade under 14 stone. What's the goal now, Dave?
Yes, I mean, I think I said to you before, the goal was always 16, and I got there. Very, very quickly. So then it was like, right, let's see if we can push it and get to 15. And as I got to 15, I started thinking that the weight is important to me, but actually seeing how my body changed. And I went from a 2XL to probably a medium large. And those sort of changes were almost the addictive part for me. And going, I don't have to worry about buying clothes. There's more, I can just go, right, large, that'll fit, job done. And so that kind of stuff, I sit at around a 34 waist now, and medium large is about, I think, where I'm going to be. So I'd like to get a few more pounds off, mainly because I know that and very shortly I'm going to come off Manjaro, there'll be a bit of a weight increase just because of the way it works. And my insulin production will drop, which is natural and normal, but I'll put weight on. So it will be about just monitoring that. And if I do, and I'm back to where I am now, I'm really happy with where I am now in lots of ways.
Yeah. a lot of people have said that people will put weight back on after they come off of it. And I guess that is the challenge. And it is, I guess, finding that exit strategy, I guess, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I'm going to try and slightly wean off it. So I'm going to drop my dose. It's a weekly injection, but I'm going to try and maybe go 10 days and then 14 days and see how we get on.
Okay.
I think the big thing now, that the determination I've got now is, it's a really powerful thing, but I've got something to lose. And when you're 20 and a half stone, what's another kebab and takeaway? Like I've worked, the jab is not a golden bullet, you have to work hard alongside it. And now I've got something to lose.
Yeah.
I think that is something I've not had for a long time. And so I'm going to plan it really carefully. I'm going to monitor myself. I'm going to still do my fitness pal. I'm still going to gradually increase my calories. And then, there's no time frame to it. As long as I'm happy and I'm healthy, then, it'll take as long as it takes.
Well, what more can you ask for, can you? I just want to rewind a little bit, Dave, and just talk about it, because it was something that was quite prevalent to me. So you went from a 2XL down to sort of now medium and large type clothes. That's obviously come at an expense, I guess, has it? And how did you manage that?
It's a lot of Vinted, Mark. It's a lot of Vinted. Like they probably think I'm the head of some massive crime family, because the amount of parcels I receive and I send these locations. I sold a load of stuff on Vinted, and I thought, all right, I'll go. I went from 2XL, then started buying XL, and then that very quickly was getting baggy on me. So I waited a little while, and then all the XL stuff I bought on Vinted has gone back on Vinted and gone again.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it's pretty much all been on there. I kind of, a couple of little bits I bought myself, but I've just thought I'll experiment with it, and it's just lovely. Like stuff turning up, especially that you don't know, you haven't tried it on, and you're like, you don't have to worry as much. I don't know about you. I'd get 2XL and then I'd be like, oh, they're the wrong 2XL. What that means, I don't know.
It's true, isn't it? And I think you spent your time, like, it's almost, when you went shopping, it was like, what can I fit into?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was like, I'd be like sat there and it's 2XL. Oh, but yeah, it's a bit short. It's 2XL, but if I lift my arms up, my belly's hanging out the bottom.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah. And I my poor wife, you've tumble dried this. This has definitely been tumble dried. Yeah. That's it's lost its shape. And
those bloody dry cleaners, they're at it again, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, if they're that powerful, I'd have jumped in one myself and I would have been a lot smaller, a lot quicker. So yeah, it was that. And it was things like choice. And I would wear nothing but black, because that's slimming apparently. And, I could get away with it. And so, that has been a noticeable thing, is that trying to wear nice clothes and take a bit more pride in my appearance and stuff like that. Because I would literally, nothing wrong with Primark, by the way, but it'd be plain black Primark t-shirt, pair of loose shorts or loose jeans, and that was it, because I know they fit. I'm not going to bother trying anything that I think might be nicer. And so again, these are the wins, aren't they? Unlocking that ability to go, do you know what? I'm going to try that because that might look all right. And so, it's come at a bit of a cost, but thankfully I was managed to shift quite a bit as well.
Yeah, it's a nice cost to incur. And like you said, I think the thing that I pick up on, and it was my dad that really made me think about this, because my dad lost a lot of weight a couple of years back. And that was one of the things that got me to sort of think about what I'm doing. And like I said, if my old man's doing it, then I can't let him outdo me here. Absolutely. But he was like, right, you need to get rid of all of your big clothes. Don't leave anything around. Because I've been on weight loss journeys before and I've lost it and it's gone back on. And I didn't throw stuff out, because it was almost like, well, if it worse comes to worse and I've got something I can wear, that's a really shitty mindset. It's like
100%.
Get rid of them. They're gone. They're never coming back. You keep them. You're leaving the door open a bit, and it's like, it's a mindset that you don't want to get into.
Yeah, and do you know what? What didn't go on Vinted went to the charity shop for that reason. Exactly the same, mate. I was like, I cannot have anything. This is who I am now. This is how I plan to be in the future. So yeah, I think that was a really big part for me. Chucking out the rainy day clothes or the just in case.
Yeah.
I think it's mentally, it was such a big moment to go, right, that is the old me, and this now is who I am, how I look, what I wear, and hopefully going back.
Absolutely. think of my old wardrobe, I've got 2 hoodies just because you can get away with a baggy hoodie, and especially if you're just sort of about at home or whatever. It's that
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know
live
what,
with
mate?
that.
I think it's quite nice to see where you've come from as well. Like I am,
Yeah.
I actually I got refitted for a new uniform today. Funnily,
Oh wow.
yeah, I went because again tried it on. I don't work in a uniform role, but so it'd been a while till I tried it on, and it was like when you're a kid and you dress up in your dad's clothes, and you play around. It was crazy. So I got measured for that today, and I put my old bit of uniform next to the bit I was bringing in to take back, and the size difference, stuff like that, is so nice to kind of stop and go, do you know what? Give yourself some credit, you know.
Yeah.
Before you come, and I think your bit of clothing helps with that. Jeans are always the one, aren't they? You hold these jeans up, and you're like, I can't believe that
Yeah.
these were tight and stuff. Now I
Yes.
don't know about
Yeah.
you. I go into a clothes shop and I pick up a certain t-shirt, and I'm like, that looks tiny. That looks like something I'd give Annabelle, my daughter. And then you try it on and it fits, and you're like, oh right, I still haven't worked that one out. I'm still looking at XL to XL, going, yeah, that's about right. And
Yeah.
this stuff looks so small
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, and I think there's almost the inner fat guy with you. And when you're going shopping, my default was looking for XL or double XL because just that's what I do. And
Yeah,
and then you try it on and realize it's too big for you.
yeah.
Something else I wanted to talk about, Dave, is
Hmm.
obviously we've met through playing football, and obviously the weight loss has helped you. But tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah. Again, it is a game changer, and it is one of those where I get really lovely feedback from people and stuff like that, because I've always played football and loved playing football. I'm going to play for as long as I've got 2 legs that will carry me. And it was always, Dave's a good player, nice touch, pass the ball, no fitness, doesn't run, can't run. Even when I'm in my 20s, and so
Yeah.
I got comfortable with that tag, and I'd almost, in a perverse way, quite, yeah, that's me. That's, don't need to run. I've got a good touch and this, that, and the other. And it was probably a bit of, I wanted to run, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
Um, since it's come off, yeah, there's been feedback. You'll know a lot of the boys that we played with are just like, yeah, what's this all about? This running business that you're doing. I enjoy it. Like I want to run as much as I can in these games now. I try and play at least twice a week. Started playing for played my first game the other week for the police veterans football team, and which again was always a goal to try and get to a decent level. And though again, little wins, I've found it's been a game changer. I'm getting less injuries. I'm recovering a lot quicker, and I was playing football the same amount, but I wasn't running. I was just turning up and kicking the ball a bit and standing in a centre circle. Whereas now I'm trying to run as much as I can and really get as much of the sweat on as I can. And I've even knocked the ball past someone, mate, and ran past them. When would that ever happen before?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, my first memory of you, Dave, was the first Fatties football. I'm back in that WhatsApp group now.
Oh, top
So
man,
Fatty
brilliant.
football on a Thursday. Yeah, I'm playing tomorrow, actually. The first ever game was in January 2018, which was put on by Phil, if I remember rightly. Literally, the first move of the game, you skipped past about 3-4 players and slammed it past me. And I stood there and thought, shit, am I out of my depth at man v fat? And that was my first thought. Thankfully, that was an exception. You may have got a couple more that evening, but it was the game sort of leveled off after that. But I do always remember that. And
Oh, nice. Thank you, mate. It was an exception for me, especially if you went in.
But yeah, but it is, and I've noticed it. Like I play in goal mainly, so but even for me in my weight loss, I was able just to sort of get about the goal a bit more, and you can make those explosive moves and quick dives and things like that. I have started to sort of get out on field as well, and that does definitely help.
Yeah.
You're not feeling quite so achy when you finish. You're not, I haven't got sort of sore ankles or sore knees or things like that. It does definitely make things that much easier, doesn't it?
It does, and just more enjoyable. I mean, I played an hour a couple of weeks ago in Cambridge, and we're just coming off after the hour, and there was another group coming on, like, we're a bit short, do you want to play? And
Yeah.
not a chance I say yes to that 6 months ago. And I was like, do you know what? Yeah, why not? And did another hour with them, which, that did hurt the next day. I think I probably overcooked it. But, the fact I could even consider it and have a go and just go, yeah, do you know what? Let's get, my money's worth. And I'm
Fantastic.
the only regret is that this wasn't around earlier, Mark, and that I couldn't have, because I am still 40 and no amount of weight loss is going to change that fact. So I wish I'd done it 10 years earlier, where I could have really, in terms of football and playing, I could have really got the most out of myself and probably played for, a bit longer, because I was in and out of it. A lot of it was due to injuries because of my weight, due to bad habits. And I wouldn't go to Man v Fat. I wouldn't play football because I'd go, do you know what? No, I don't want people seeing me like this, because I didn't want people to go, God, what's happened to him? And so that would push me back further away from it. And the eating is always there with open arms, as is the beers.
Of course it is, yeah. And you know what? I've had nights like that. And I think the thing with Man v Fat is there's no judgmental environment. No one gets shitty with you. If you put on weight, you put on weight. But there's definitely been times where I've had a shit week, knowing I'm going to put on weight, and like, I don't want to go because I'm too embarrassed. And I think sometimes we've just got to kind of just swallow your pride almost and just say, look, you got to step on the scales and get that accountability.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like you say, the one thing about it is it was such a supportive environment. No one's tutting off, oh, for God's sake. We're all in the same boat. We all have good weeks, bad weeks, reasons that we've done it. And the worst thing you can do is push yourself away from that environment because generally it was all on me. It was in my head. If there's anywhere that I was going to be made to feel it's okay, Dave, it's all right to slip, just pick yourself up next week, that would be the environment.
Yeah. And I think I was chatting to you'll know him, Prev. You know Prev from football.
Oh yeah, no, Prev. Well, yeah, he still runs past me.
Yeah, he's a good player. But he just said, look, he's been going to Man v Fat from day one, I think. And he just said, look, I just like going because I'll have someone weigh me. I'm not going to weigh myself at home, but if I come here, I get weighed and I've got that level of that bit of accountability. And it's just that place where it can just, gives you that knowledge and makes you realise where you're at as such. And I think that's for people thinking about Man v Fat, it's such an important aspect of that. It is such a welcome environment. It's not judgmental. And yes, if you lose weight, you're getting points. But if you're not, no one's going to sort of come down hard on you, I don't think.
No, they're not. No, absolutely not. And again, even talking about stuff like that is really good. And what I like about it is they don't shy away from things like mental health, and they're asking you about these things. And because a lot of blokes, I think their mental health and their eating habits or how that's gone, they go hand in hand.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think getting a handle on that and even having coaches, they look out and they go, right, Dave's diet has changed this week. He's a bit quieter, a bit more withdrawn, and having that quick chat. Is everything all right? Phil was fantastic when I went, and he was really good spotting that and going, I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again after the game. And game, I'm just thinking, right, I'll tell him what's going on.
Yeah. No, and I can remember that with Phil. He was the coach at Man v Fat when I first started. I was going through my divorce when I was there first time round, and it was horrendous. And there was a couple of times I was that little bit withdrawn, and like Phil was like, "You're all right, mate. I can see things aren't right with you at the moment. What's up?" And so I kind of opened up to him, and it was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, mate, but look, we're here for you. And like I said, if you just need some extra game time, there's a few other games going on this week. I'll get you involved, and if you just need to come and clear your head, we're here for you." And
he's great. It's annoying as anything when you don't talk about it, but it's the best annoyance, isn't it? Because it's like, you know what?
Absolutely.
He's not going to leave me alone until I tell him what's going on. So I might as well tell him. And just telling him that kind of stuff. There's never any judgment from him. That then gives me the confidence to speak to the lads about stuff that's going on, the other players. And it's a great environment. It really is. I think my only regret with it is that a lot of the time I maybe wasn't in a position to, like I say, I was trying to cut corners, and I'd love to, and I still keep in touch with them a lot. Hence why I'd still go to Fatty's football and stuff like that, because they're such a nice bunch of lads, and
Yes.
I know that if I need it in the future, it'll be the first port of call, genuinely, just to, if things creep up and I just need to keep, like you say, accountability, then that'll be the first place I go, because it was, alongside the jab, it was the thing that worked and that I stuck with and I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. I think that's probably a good place to sort of round it up, Dave. But yeah, just one last thing. What bit of advice would you give to say there's a guy who's maybe listening to this now who's 20 stone thinking, shit, I need to get myself sorted. I really need to start taking my weight seriously. What would you say to them?
Yeah, it's still weird being asked that question, because it's since April, it's happened so quickly, and I don't think it will always work quickly for everyone. So what I would say is, first of all, just do it. Don't wait till a Monday. Don't wait till tonight's takeaway. Just literally do something different. Doesn't have to be the jab. Just something a little bit different that you were planning to do. Just go, right, I'm going to do it, and just take the time to accept the nice wins you have. Those little wins along the way are what will keep you going. Little victories. Do you know what? I would have got in there and I would have got a Greg's sausage roll. I haven't. I've gone in there and I just got a bottle of Diet Coke. I've got a water, something like that. Those little wins are the ones that will get you there. And before you know it, you'll be going, right, different t-shirt size. That's another win. And it's just, I think that's the only way you can sustain that long term. It's not going to happen in a day, but you've got to take the first step.
Yeah. Fantastic. No, I love that, Dave. And yeah, thanks for coming on, sharing your story. So since April 2025, is that you started, was it?
Yeah, 25th of April 25 was when I think I sent you the picture. That was the first time, or the next day was the first time I took it.
Wow.
And then, so
in 6 months, you've lost 6.5 stone. That is incredible, and we take our hats off to you, mate. That's honestly a fantastic achievement, and we wish you all the best in sort of maintaining that and sort of hitting your weight loss goals.
No,
but yeah, for now, yeah, thanks for coming on, and yeah, listen out for the next episode. We've got some big episodes coming soon, so yeah, watch this space, and thanks for listening. Cheers, guys.